Hello, everybody, and welcome to The View from the Top. It is the big one. It's the big show. I am buzzing. I am so excited. And I know so many of you are. I'm hearing comments already. People are coming into the house. It's so great to see you all here today. Today is the big day. You know how this show works. Join in the conversation. Write in the comments box. Tell us who's here, where you've come from, what you're doing. Tell us what's exciting. Tell us all your news. We just want to hear it. I'm saying, oh my gosh. I mean, everyone's excited. They're saying anxious to see the list of winners. I mean, we're going to be sharing all that because you know what it is today. Today is the big one. It is the big reveal show. Today is the day that we reveal who have been voted the top 100 most admired global mobility professionals, the service providers in the world. And not only do you get to find out who are the top 100, you also get credits for this. Can you believe it? You name your credits, you can get them here live on The View from the Top. You can get your CRP credits, you can get your GMS credits from Worldwide ERC. You can also get your SHRM credits and your HRCI credits. And those have been provided courtesy of our good friends at Rocket Mortgage or Quicken Loans, who have helped us get those credits. So thanks to those guys. And as I said, your credits are there. What have we got coming up for you in future weeks? We know today's the big one, but let me just tell you about what we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks. Next week, we're back with Bencivengo Bites. And we've got a really interesting subject. We're talking about what's going on in the APAC region. And we've got a whole new benchmarking report that will be released live. And we're talking about some of the biggest areas facing, well, the report's focused on APAC, but these issues are global, which is work from home. And we're talking about technology and how that is all impacting assignee experience, employee experience, post-pandemic. So we've got a fascinating show for you. And then the week after that, The View from the Top is back, of course, because we run it every 2 weeks. And we've got a really interesting show in 2 weeks' time. We've got Mobility for Good. So we're talking about how the global mobility industry can help charitable causes. And we've got four special guests. We've got Tanya Mariottini from Expedia, who's going to be talking to us about the work that she's been doing with an amazing charity, which many of you will know, called Move for Hunger. And then we've got Ian Robinson and Marina Brizar, who can be talking about the work they do with an amazing charity called Talent Beyond Boundaries. And then we've also got Michelle Durkin coming on the show, who's going to be talking about the Give It Forward charity initiative that we're running here at Bencivengo. Now, the one person who will not be with you on the 2nd of June is yours truly, because I'm having a vacation. I am actually getting on a plane and having a vacation, but I'm not leaving you completely, because I'm delighted to say that Peggy Smith has agreed to guest present the show. So we've got Peggy on the show in 2 weeks' time. So really exciting show. I'll be tuning in to watch that, I suspect, from my beach, but I will not be with you on the show. I'll not be presenting the show. What I do want to do before we get into everything now is just talk about my colleague and good friend, Matt Cheek, who, of course, as we all know, has moved from Valencia in Spain to Palo Alto to set up a new Bencivengo office. And we have been live streaming. We have been following his move. He is the Kardashian of global mobility. So let's just find out from Matt how that move to Palo Alto is going. Matt, you've made it. You're in
here.
Okay, because last time we spoke, you were still in quarantine, I think, at your mother's house. I think it was Mother's Day, and I'm sure you got her a nice present.
I did.
I hope so, otherwise you're in trouble. But now, tell us what's happened now with your move, and how's the move going?
Yep, things are going really well. That's exactly right. I quarantined as recommended for 1 week. I had a very nice Mother's Day with my mom, first one in God knows how many years, and now I am actually officially down in Palo Alto. I have a place for me. I'm scouting places for the family. I have set up the office, so we are all all guns blazing, so to speak, looking very good. And for everyone in the United States, very encouraging signals and signs coming from the health authorities. California itself will probably be a little bit slower than the rest of the states, and the public here is still working out exactly what that feels like. But the general swing and the general feel of things is that it is on the accelerated path towards getting back to some type of normal, and that feels really exciting.
And Matt, I mean, Kardashian or not Kardashian, I can see some joshing going on here. But you're now in Palo Alto, and you're allowed to meet with real people. You've been vaccinated. You're allowed to go out and meet with people.
That's right. It's still to everybody's flavor as to how they want to manage themselves. But I'm a very happy, willing mask wearer all of the time in any situation, and also being generally safe. But I will say that yes, it does seem that people are I think even eager to start living their week to week in something that resembles a little bit more pre-March 2020.
Okay, well, Matt, without wanting to put you too much out of pocket, I'm going to make an offer on your behalf. If there's anybody out there, I know there's loads of you who are in the Palo Alto area who would like to meet up with Matt for a coffee or a beer or a lunch or something and chew the cud in the real world, then contact Matt and he'll meet up with you, and then we'll be able to report back on the show at some point that we've got you out there, and that you're not just an avatar on the screen here. You are a real live inhabitant of Palo Alto. That's right. And this would be a good time to come clean, I suppose, to tell everyone that I did nick your wallet before I left. So, but we can be luxurious in wherever we go. Absolutely, and I can see Brent Bergen there has already suggested lunch with you, and there you go. You're allowed to meet real people. This is getting back to normality. But Matt, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. But I know people want to know all about the top 100. I can see just on LinkedIn alone, we've already got over 330 people, and then we've got more on YouTube and Facebook. So the place is buzzing. So what I am going to do, Matt, the event of the day. Take care. Good seeing you. And I'm going to start bringing on the partner organizations who partners with us in this amazing initiative. So please give a big round of applause in the View from the Top way. Hit that like button, hit the applause button, hit the heart button, and let's start bringing on our wonderful partners from the other organizations. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you all.
Hello.
Okay, guys, you can come off mute for a moment. Let's just say hi, everybody.
Hi, Bron.
Hello.
It's great to have you. The buzz is amazing. We're now up to nearly 350 people watching the show, and they all want to know who has made the top 100 list. And can you tell them? Do you know?
No.
It's a secret. Nobody
Not a
knows.
one.
Nobody, well, I know, but none of you guys know. So let me just say, well, first of all, actually, let me just do a big thank you. You know, you've all been amazing. You know, Eric, BDO, my colleagues at Bencivengo, ECA, Fragment, HSBC Expat, Rocket Mortgage, Weichert. You've all been amazing partners in this initiative. But I should say that being a partner doesn't give you any say in terms of who makes the list. So, I mean, maybe I ought to just explain the rules of engagement. The rules of engagement are very simple, is that we went out to the community. We at Bencivengo believe in the concept of crowd, the wisdom of the crowd. I mean, if you like, our raison d'etre is all about getting information sourced from the crowd. So we went out to the crowd and we asked the crowd, who are the people that you most admire in this industry? And we took those votes. The only rules we had were you could not vote for yourself and you could not vote for another person in your own organization. And then I actually added in a third rule after the event, which was thanks to the people who actually nominated me and a couple of my colleagues at Bencivengo, but we took the view that Bencivengo employees weren't allowed to be on the list. Okay, so we just added that in as our own sort of our own rule. But thank you to people who did nominate me. I'm afraid that vote was wasted, but thank you.
Maintaining your independence, Brian.
Absolutely. We thought, you know, independence was important. It's that accounting background of the old auditors. The old auditors' independence crept in. But what we are going to be doing is we are going to be releasing fairly shortly the top 100 most admired service providers in the world. And the way that we're going to do it is I'm going to give you a little bit of background facts. We're going to have a bit of conversation. We're then going to release them in 4 installments during this hour on air. So 25 at a time. But we're doing that in alphabetical order. So there's no ranking here other than the alpha ranking. So we're going to be releasing that. And then at the very end of the show, we're actually going to release the complete 100 list. Also, at the end of the show, if you go onto our website, which is bencivengo.com, and go to the top 100, the entire list will be up there for you to look at. It's not there now, so don't bother. It will be there at the end of the show. You'll be able to see the entire top 100 list. And what's really cool about this is that when you go on there, you can press the button and you can congratulate the person that's on the list, and then they will get an email from you congratulating them. So have a bit of fun. When you see the list at the end, go on our website. If there's people that you really want to thank, then do that. And thank them, congratulate them, because there will be, you know, you'll see some of the names, and there'll be loads of names that you know, and people, your friends, your colleagues. Let me just tell you a little bit about this. We had, believe it or not, we had over 4,000 nominations. 4,000 people were nominated to be on the top 100 list. And the first point I would like to make, and I don't know if any of you guys want to chip in here, is that everybody on that list is a hero. Anybody who has been nominated, somebody out there thinks a lot of them, loves them, they are a hero. And I just want to focus in on that, because obviously only 100 people can ever be on the top 100 list. But we had 4,000 nominations. Guys, what do you think?
It's a great industry, I think. Quite an industry to be in. Yeah.
It's a great statement about all the professionals around the world, and this venue gives light to that, which is so wonderful.
Yeah, and let me tell you a little bit about it. I mean, in terms of the list, all sorts of people made the list. So we had people from all the big household name companies that you can think of. You know, all those people from those organizations made the list. But we also had people from boutique firms. We had individuals, individual consultants. We had connectors in the industry, conference organizers, trade bodies. We had people from, as I said, one-man bands through to some of the largest multinationals. It came from everywhere, all over. Yeah, Mary Beth, I so agree with you. Best industry in the world. And do any of you want to guess what countries people came from? Which were the five most popular countries? Dave, Tom, do you want to guess which countries made the list?
I'm going to take the easy path and say the U.S. was one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
The other easier path is the UK.
Yeah, that's two of the top five countries. In fact, in that order, the US was the most, came top, then followed by the UK. Anybody want to guess the other three countries in the top five?
Singapore.
Yep, Singapore was number 3. You're doing well.
Hong Kong.
No, Hong Kong.
No.
Hong Kong didn't make our top 5.
How about India?
No, that didn't either. The other two in the top 5 were Canada and Switzerland.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so they're the ones that hit our top 5. And then in terms of the types of suppliers, obviously we've got many suppliers. Of the 100 on the list, 39 of them were from what I would call RMCs or DSPs. I mean, it's always a bit hard to work out exactly what a company is in this industry, but in my view, 39 of them were probably RMCs and DSPs. 15 of them were from tax firms or were tax experts. In some cases, they weren't necessarily in a tax firm, tax experts. 14 were immigration experts. 14 were consultants of some sort, independent consultants or people providing consulting expertise, but not necessarily an RMC. 7 were from technology companies. And then a further 11 were from, I just lumped it into other. That could be corporate accommodation, household goods, industry bodies, recruitment organizations, insurance providers. So, you know, a whole range of different. But another thing about the love, get this. There was a lot of companies that had loads and loads of people from their company that made the list. So let me just show you. I'll show you the top 20 organizations that had the most number of people from their organization nominated. Okay, so we're not talking here about who's actually been nominated. We're talking about the top 20 organizations that had the most number of people nominated from their organizations.
Oh.
So an amazing diverse number of organizations that had multiple people. I mean, obviously these are the large organizations. And as I said, a lot of the boutiques actually appear on the list. But again, to give you an idea of the breadth of love in our industry, just here's a few statistics. KPMG, 25 separate people from KPMG were nominated. Carter's, Deloitte, PwC all had 29 people from their organizations nominated. Server had 30 people nominated. Altair had 31 people. BGRS had 32 people. Grable, 34 people were nominated from their organization. Ayres, 37 people were nominated. EY, 48 people were nominated from their organization. Fragerman had an amazing 52 people nominated from their organization. But the winner from that particular thing, and Dave, you're going to like this, was Weichert. Weichert had an amazing 76 employees were nominated from your organization.
Wow.
How about that?
That's a proud moment. Thank you for hearing that.
So, congratulations to everybody. But let me just ask you guys, and then we're going to start showing some of the list. What do you think it takes? What do you think makes, we're asking people to vote for who is the most admired person, the person they most admire in the industry. Tom, maybe starting from your point of view, a Rocket, what do you think makes somebody most admired?
Yeah, Brian, I think it comes down to two things for me. I think it's the relationships that these individuals are building with their clients and the results or the dependability of their service. I think when you combine those two things together, you get very admired people in this industry, because it's look, at the end of the day, it's tough, right? It's a very sequential step of events that occur, and you have to deliver. So I think relationships matter, and I think results matter.
Okay, and Tom, some of the others have been a guest on the show before, you've not. So just tell us a bit about yourself, where you are, and just, so that people know who you are. Sure,
thanks, Brian. Tom Dempsey. I have been with the Quicken Loans Rocket Mortgage organization for what I like to say is 22 seasons. And officially, at the end of July, will be no more Quicken Loans. Will be only Rocket Mortgage. But I'm in the Detroit area. I've been in the mobility space here with the team for, it's been 12 years now since we've been in the industry, and it was something, a proud moment in 2009 to be one of the chief architects to bring Quicken Loans and Rocket Mortgage into this industry. So super proud, super excited to see the growth of the industry. There's a lot of great friends and relationships out there, and this industry means a lot to a whole lot of people. So thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you. And Cameron, also, this is your first time on the show. So you're with HSBC Expat, but tell us a bit about yourself. And you're an expat yourself, I believe.
I am, Brian, and look, I'm also excited to be here. It's great to be part of this community and be part of this conversation, and really looking forward to the reveal. But yes, I've been with HSBC for over 23 years and am an international assignee. I'm based here in Jersey in the Channel Islands, and to the earlier conversation with Matt, I'm lucky enough to actually be in an office at the moment with people sitting next to me, so I can actually have a conversation. But this is the fifth market that I've worked in with the group, so I've been directly experienced the international assignee process, and really excited to be here with HSBC Expat and look after our distribution function, which helps to facilitate international bank accounts for all of the international assignees across many of the companies, and working with many of the providers that we have here today. So thanks for having me. And
Matthew, in fact, you're our second Matthew of the day. We're on a double Matt day. Matt, you're with BDO. In fact, I was with BDO for 10 years myself, many years ago. But just tell us a bit about what you do, because again, this is your first time on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Yeah, my first time on the show, so appreciate the opportunity. I'm a managing director at BDO based in our Stamford, Connecticut office. In my role today, I'm the markets leader for BDO's Global Mobility Tax Services practice. I've spent going on 25 years already, mostly on the tax side. But in 2012, I decided to try my hand on the RMC side. I had actually joined my fellow panelist, Dave Bencivengo here at Weichert. I was there for about 8 years, and during that time, proud to say that I had started the tax practice, Weichert Mobility Tax Services, while I was there. So that was a great experience for me, and I think what it gave me was a bit of a unique perspective, there's not too many of us that have been a tax provider and also at an RMC for a material number of years. So for me, I take that experience with me in today's role at BDO. And I'd also say, yeah, I was an expat like Cameron and some of the others. I was an expat for a couple of years in Prague, so really got a chance to live that expat life and try to understand the needs of the clients that I service. So thank you, Brian.
Okay, well, it's great seeing you. I think it's probably about time we actually did some of the reveal. I know people are getting very excited. We've got nearly 400 people now live on LinkedIn, and when I add in Facebook and YouTube, I'm sure we're going to be close to 500. So everybody out there, you know how it works. When you see the names come up, and you're going to see 25 names now, the first 25, they won't be on screen for long because you can't run too long a video. But if you see a name of someone that you like, you admire, or maybe even yourself, then because nobody knows, then just hit that like button, hit the applause button, hit the clap button, hit the heart button. I want to see the screens just go mad. So, okay, let's throw out the first 25. And remember, these are purely in alphabetical order. There is no ranking. So get ready, hit those buttons, and let's see who made that list. So there we go. That's our first 25, and congratulations to you and Dave and Emma. I see you both made the list. And obviously that was a complete surprise to you because I said nobody knows apart from me who was on the list. One of the things I found interesting about the list, and I'd be interested in your views, is I think we all live in our bubbles. And I think, because when I looked at the list, I looked at it and there was, people I knew and the people I didn't know. And then you check them all out and you see who they are. And I think you actually realize how we all live in our own sort of little worlds. But it was nice. I thought the list was actually quite diverse in terms of the countries we had, and also the areas of practice. So, Julia, I mean, from your perspective, I mean, are you seeing names there that you know and names that you don't know?
Yeah. I mean, it's lovely to see, Dave and Emma, and lovely to see Siobhan Cummings. But, and lots of other fantastic people, but other names I don't know so well. So it's great.
And Matthew, I saw one of your colleagues made that first 25.
Yeah, I saw my colleague Andrew Bailey in the UK. So congratulations to him and Dave and Emma as well. So definitely some powerhouse names on there already, and folks that I've had the privilege of working with. So far so good.
Okay, and when we look at, on the show, we've looked at mobility. I quite often look at it from the perspective of the corporate. What does the corporate want from the client? But today, with so many great service providers on the show, I'd actually like to look at it from the other way around. What is the perspective of, I mean, you could call it the vendor's perspective, but personally, I hate that word vendor. So, actually, I'll put it up there just to be provocative. There we go. Then I'm going to take it down again and say, actually, I'm going to talk about it, call it the service provider's perspective. And maybe I'll start with you, Emma. What do you think it is that a service provider wants from their client?
Ooh, how long do we have? There's probably quite a lot.
28 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot that comes to mind. So maybe I'll try to think of the most important components. So I really like to work with clients who are open to dialogue. If you have that, rather than being things one direction, or you automatically have built a relationship, and that's a great starting point. And perhaps the most interesting projects come from clients who are open and willing to be challenged in perhaps what they initially wanted, how things evolved for them. And so, yeah, open to be challenged, I would say, is one that enhances the relationship both sides and pushes us to give more, and the added value is immediately visible, I think.
Okay, and Pat, would you say something similar, or would you add to that? I mean, what is it that, when you're looking at a client, what is it that you want from your clients?
What I would say is that I wouldn't even call us a vendor or a service provider. We prefer to be considered partners with the corporate clients that we have. So being able to collaborate, being felt like that we are part of their team, that is the best way for us to want from our clients. And I think that, it sort of goes hand in hand with the Air Inc. mantra being listen, partner, and deliver. So if we're not listening and engaged in the collaboration with our clients, then it's much more difficult for us. And that's what we would hope to get from our clients, is to feel like a part of the team.
Okay. And Dave, from your perspective, I mean, you head a large organization, you've got a number of people who are on that, who are nominated. What is it that you think they are looking for in their clients?
Yeah, I think we're always hoping that our clients will in some ways align with our beliefs. We're very interested in open doors, open minds, trying to ensure that new ideas can be heard, vetted, evaluated. The idea of trusting each other, at least going in assuming good intentions, and at the same time looking at programs holistically and really understanding from a value perspective what's the total benefit and value that you bring to the partnership. I agree with Pat. We tend to focus on creating partnerships and looking for that opportunity wherever possible. So those are some of the most important ways. And lastly, just trying to create many-to-many relationships, knowing that if we're given the opportunity, we can bring the best of our organization and our people to engage with a number of people on the client side to bring the best outcomes.
And, Cameron, from your perspective, your organization is bigger than most of your clients in this industry. I mean, you're such a huge organization, but yet you are very much in the client service industry. I mean, how do you manage your clients, and how do you manage their expectations, and what's your perspective on working with them?
Yeah, it's a great question, Brian, and it goes to actually what a lot of the other panelists have said, and a number of the comments that are on here. It's really around developing those trusted partnerships with the companies that we work with and the service providers that we work with, so that we can make sure that we can give them the service that they're looking for. And I also think it's very much around having that two-way dialogue and making sure that you're aligned in regards to the expectations and what you're wanting to deliver for the end individual who is moving, is relocating, likely has a family, and I think sometimes it can be very easy to lose sight of the person at the end of the whole conversation that is going on, and I think also being open to that feedback. I'll be the first to say we don't always get it right, but absolutely if we don't, we want to be there to recover and assist and have that right open dialogue. So I think we are lucky that we're in a large number of markets where it helps us assign and help those assignees relocate sort of globally, and that ability to link up within our own organisation, but also to partner with these companies in multiple locations goes a long way.
Okay, and we had a comment there earlier, maybe we can just put it up again, from Nicola. He said, blessed service providers, they are the right hand of the corporate. Let's just put that comment back up. But Tom, from your point of view, would you take that point that the service provider is the right-hand man of the in-house?
Yeah, I mean, right. You can say right-hand person, right-hand man, but I think it's more holistic than that, right? It's a complete circle, and I think what sits at the center of that for both service providers and clients is the amazing amount of trust that you can build with one another. Because when you have that trust, it makes some of the hiccups that occur in this industry a little more palatable, right? We like to say it's not the problem that's the problem, it's how you handle the problem that's the problem. And so when you have that open transparency and you have that open trust, I think you're collectively creating results together. Service providers can't do it without clients, clients can't do it without service providers. So joined at the hip is what I like to say.
Okay, I think it's probably about time that we showed another 25. So let's go to our second 25. And again, you know how it works. Hit the button, hit the heart, hit the applause, hit the love, and let people know and feed into the comments if you see names of people that you like or you want to congratulate. So let's get the love out there, and let's go for our second 25. Again, a lot of great names there. People that you recognise, people that you want to comment on? Julia, what about you?
Yes, I really wanted to say a big congratulations to Claire Hughes and Alan Johnson from PwC. I've worked really closely with them in the past. I think that was really lovely. And to Robert Horsley and Saji James, and Bill Grable, Avram, Michelle Durkin, some lovely names there.
Excellent. And let's just move the conversation on. I mean, I think one of the issues that I think as service providers we also face is managing expectations from our clients, because I think clients, obviously there's lots of corporates watching this, and I'm going to try and do this one politely, but sometimes, expectations can be high, and sometimes we're our own worst enemies. I think as service providers, we set expectations too high and then we fail to deliver it. How do we best manage as an industry, as the service provider side of the industry, how do we best manage client expectations? And also, as a partnership between the service provider and the client, how do we best manage employee expectations? Matthew Pascual, do you want to sort of just comment on that one?
Yeah, sure. A lot of us, we have two clients, right? Like you said, we've got the corporate clients, the day-to-day that we deal with, and then we've got the moving employees. For me, I think it's around communication. I think many of us would agree, and how we build those relationships with those folks. On the corporate side, I would say responsiveness helps build that trust and that trusted advisor mentality. But it's also important as you get to know someone, to get to understand their communication preferences. So, no two clients are the same. I say that often to my colleagues, and, some like emails, some like the old-fashioned phone call. Now we've added Teams and seeing each other remotely to the mix due to COVID, and some just like the traditional email. So I think understanding those communication preferences and using those is a good starting point. I also think from a employee perspective, when we're supporting them, having a little empathy for them and what they're going through. It's a high stress environment. There's a lot of anxiety, and I really feel for anyone who's moving now during COVID with everything going on. It's just an added layer on for so many ways, and I really always push that empathy side and to really try to cater to them and their needs. So, just to get you started, Brian, those are some thoughts I had.
Okay, and Cameron, I could see you nodding there. So do you want to come in on that?
Yeah, Brian, I mean, it's very much about having that two-way dialogue that we've touched on a couple of times, is understanding what the expectations are. And I think Matthew's absolutely right, is no two companies are the same, and they'll all have different needs and different requirements for the individuals that they're relocating. So being clear and open around the service that you can provide and what to expect. I think, consistently you see an overpromise and an under-delivery, and I think we need to be clear of what exactly can be delivered when. And I think to Matthew's other point is it's not just about the company, it's about the individual as well, and making sure that during that high stress move and all the challenges that we know that they're going through as an individual, that we can be empathetic and have the right conversations which helps them along that journey. And I think if we can demonstrate the way in which we are supporting the individual, you're going to get that trusted advisor and trust a relationship with the company, because you're lifting that away from their stress as well.
Absolutely. And Dave, from your perspective, again, looking at it from a Weichert perspective here, is how would you go about managing or advise people to manage expectations?
Yeah, I think we already heard some really good counsel so far from the other panelists, but I've always believed, fear has no place in a relationship when it comes to managing expectations, setting expectations. What you fear sharing with someone will usually come back and haunt you later. So it's always better to talk upfront about expectations, get to know the company's culture. I think that's really critical. As much as we'd like to sometimes standardize things, it doesn't necessarily translate into relationships. So finding a way to really understand where your goals and priorities are for that client and how you can then back into a transparent discussion about how to best serve them is really how you'll set the best expectations and then be able to deliver upon them. And I think that's what we're ultimately measured on.
Okay, and another area I sort of just want to start touching upon is the whole question of a supply chain. Maybe it's similar that we're all in a partnership, but you guys, by and large, well, two of you compete, but by and large, the rest of you don't actually compete that much. You're all in different parts of the supply chain. How can the supply chain best work together to provide really great service to the end user, well, to the corporate and to the end user? How can we all work together best? I mean, let's look at it. Who wants to kick off on that one? Emma, would you like to kick off?
Yeah, sure. So I think it links to another point that we had as a group discussed at some point about the employee experience. So if we know the employee experience needs to be at the center, it's the focus of what our clients want. You then understand as well that in order for that to be as seamless as possible, you just want everyone to play ball, essentially. You want everyone to cooperate, and that is just absolutely crucial. And I think it becomes then logical that everyone should do their bit and kind of work seamlessly with one another. And I know that we don't necessarily all compete, but there are overlaps in what we provide our clients. And so these overlaps are the perfect spots, I think, to create areas of potential collaborations. So, yeah, just to get us started.
Okay. And Tom, do you want to come in on that?
Sure. I think, look, when you have shared goals and shared objectives across the supply chain, when you're thinking about an individual assignee, move, the sharing of information, the awareness, the support that has to exist, sort of end to end, is what makes that at the end of the day turn out to be something everyone's really proud of, right? So, when we think about our industry, household goods providers need to know how the mortgage is going to close on time. All of these things that simultaneously, time is the one constant that we have here. So the more that the supply chain at the individual level can start to share information, data, processes, have common goals and objectives for that end user, that end employee that we all care so much about, because when that person's happy, then your corporate client is happy, right? That's how you achieve happiness there, right? If you overshoot the moon and try to just make your corporate client happy, but you're skimping on the employee experience, you're missing the boat completely. Okay.
So who wants to see the next 25? Shall we show that one out? Okay, let's go for it. Let's look at our third group of 25. I've just realized I've shown the same one again, haven't I?
I was just about to say that.
I know. There you go. And people are congratulating me on being such a great host. Here we go. Right, well, off that slight hiccup on my part, there we go. So you've seen some more names, and congratulations, Pat. Congratulations, Julia. Congratulations,
Congratulations,
Matthew.
Julia.
So well,
Congratulations.
and Pat and Julia, thank you for all your help every other week on the show. We really appreciate that, and you've obviously got big followings out there. So we were talking a little bit then about sort of this whole question of the supply chain working together. I wouldn't mind just continuing that discussion for a little bit. I mean, Julia, from your point of view, how do you best work with other people, other service providers that you may be, working in partnership with, or sometimes maybe you're working in partnership and competing with them at the same time?
Yeah, no, I think, there's so much discussion and interaction between all the different vendors on different accounts. And, what I see is real cooperation for big client accounts, real partnership, making sure our technologies are all seamless through APIs and other links, and really focusing on, the client experience, and also, what data the client wants to track, and, what's important to the client. And I think, I see, an enormous amount of cooperation. And if you bring everything together like that and work really hard on the partnership with the other vendors, you can give the client something absolutely awesome. So, we have very strong partnerships in the market with all other vendors, and it really pays off, and it's great for the client.
And Pat, I can see you nodding. Is that similar from your experience? Lots of
very much so. Certainly, we at AirInc, we pride ourselves in being agnostic in terms of partners that we work with. So we're happy to work with any tax firm. We're happy to work with any RMC and any technology platform. And it's important for us to be able to do that and be part of the team to help service the client. So I would think that would be something that we would be working towards. One key thing is just to being able to do technology transfer, sharing of data, and that can be done with newer technologies. So I think that would be helpful to have in place as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think technology, and we use it from our, in our business very much. We use technology that will integrate multiple service providers together, so the employee can manage their own experience. I mean, I think that is what I'm going to do.
I would challenge, though, vendors to get to know each other. I mean, that's part of it. It's just getting to know who else is servicing that client and building those relationships. I think that's important.
Pat, that is a huge point. And actually, one of the great things about something like a worldwide ERC or Res Forum or FEM or any of these other bodies where people get together is we do network, but what of course we found in the last year and a half is we haven't been able to network the way that we could. But one of the things that comes out to me out of this list is there's so many different sides to our industry, and we're seeing names that are on the most admired list that do things maybe 100 miles away from what we do in our sector, but yet they're all servicing the same clients. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move straight on to our last group of 25 because time is moving on, and then at the very end of the show I'm going to show the complete list again. But let's have a look again, and out there in LinkedIn land, on Facebook, on YouTube, you know what to do. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Hit those buttons, write those comments in there, and let's just see who has made our fourth part of the list. So let's shoot it out right now, and hopefully I'll get the right video this time. So some great names there, great names. I'm delighted to see some of our industry connectors, people like Tad Zalinden at Eura, Lynn Shotwell at ERC. Earlier we had Ben Cross from Love and Relo, and we had David Enser from RES Forum. So it's not just the people directly in the supply chain, it's the connectors as well. A fabulous list. Maybe I'm biased, but I think it's a great list. Cameron, any sort of final comments from your perspective?
No, I mean, I think it's great, as we talked about at the start, to see the recognition for the nominee, for the individuals here in the top 100, but also the 4,000. And you talked about them being heroes earlier, Brian, and I absolutely echo that. I think that the services that are provided across the board to corporates, but importantly to all of those individuals that are moving globally, is a huge service that is provided. And I just want to say huge congratulations from HSBC to all 4,000 nominees, but also importantly to the 100 individuals that have been, recognised today.
Okay, and I'm going to play the final video in a moment of all 100, so you can see. And then, as of the top of the hour, it'll be live on the Benevo website. Please go on that Benevo website and send congratulations through. And when you go on that list, you can also see bios of all the top 100 there. So everybody's got an individual bio on the website, and that will be live in a moment. Tom, any final words from you?
Cameron stole them from me, but congratulations. That's an amazing list. I saw a lot of great names on there, a lot of people I knew, a lot of friends, a lot of folks I didn't. And I know that our team would be super excited to meet and connect with those folks as well. And so on behalf of Rocket Mortgage and our team here, congratulations to the entire group, to the entire nominees. I think it was said earlier, but they're all heroes, right? And it's a special thing to be a service provider and do well in this industry. So congratulations.
Thank you. And just to play us out, and with and I'll leave you, we'll all come back together after, but just to sort of play us out, and so everybody can see it again, because I expect you've forgotten some of the names there. Here is, and it's very, very quick, so watch carefully, guys. So that's it. That is our top 100. It's released, it's out, it's available on the website now. Also, if you go on the website, there's a PDF you can download, which will give you, there's interesting articles in there by all our partner organizations, and there's there's details of the people. And if you're on the website, there's bios of all the people. So do that now. Go out there, go hit the benevo.com website and go and send in messages of congratulations to all your friends, all your colleagues, even your competitors who have made that list. This is a fabulous industry we all work in, and it's just so nice to see all the love that is out there for the people who all work together, especially given the awful year that we've all had, and hopefully we're getting through now, and we can all work together and just make things bigger and better and stronger for the rest of 2021, 2022 and beyond. So that's all from me and from all my colleagues here on the show, and goodbye everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye.